Title: The Archivist's Lament. I'll never forget the day they told me I'd disgrace our family. My hands trembled as I clutched the printouts, bar graphs, and cryptic patterns dancing before my eyes. Evidence of something sinister lurking just below the surface of our quaint town. Yet, when I presented my findings to my family, their laughter rang louder than the clamor in my mind. "You're obsessed with ghosts, David," my brother mocked. "This is insane." My mother's face twisted in disgust, while my father simply shook his head, disappointment etched into his features. They wanted a lawyer, a doctor, someone sane, not the family lunatic chasing shadows. It was years ago, but the sting of their words still cut deep. I had been a data analyst, a meticulous number cruncher for the town's census. Until, that is, I stumbled upon the missing persons, a chilling pattern hidden in plain sight, woven into the very fabric of our community. But when I tried to expose the truth, they accused me of falsifying data, of creating conspiracy where none existed. My career crumbled, and my family's ridicule pushed me into a world they deemed delusional. I became an archivist of the lost, buried beneath layers of ridicule, but fueled by the desire to prove them wrong. I wandered forgotten libraries, sifting through discarded census records, seeking patterns among the disappearances that sent shivers down my spine. Each statistic echoed warnings. I felt the weight of the unspeakable truth pressing against my chest. I knew there was something in the numbers, something lurking and predatory, and I couldn't stop. Years passed in relative solitude, my obsession growing like a twisted vine. I became renowned, but not for the reasons I had hoped. I was no longer the family disgrace. Instead, I returned home branded a harbinger, a warning. My research had unveiled the hidden horrors that others still pretended didn't exist. I was an expert in occult statistics, and the shadows of disbelief had grown long in my wake. As I pulled into the driveway of our old home, the familiar facade felt foreign, unsettling. The laughter of my family echoed in my mind, a ghost of its own. I took a deep breath and stepped out, my heart racing as I approached the front door. I was prepared for their disdain, but I still hoped. Perhaps foolishly, for acceptance. "David?" My mother's voice trembled as she opened the door, disbelief sparkling in her eyes. "You're back. I found the truth," I whispered, feeling the weight of my own words. My family gathered around, their expressions shifting from confusion to horror as I unfurled my findings, the records that linked the threads of our town's disappearances to a dark, insidious force. I recounted it all, the data, the patterns, the whispers. As I spoke, shadows danced across the room, twisting and writhing like something alive. I could feel their skepticism wane, replaced by a dawning realization. They had laughed at something real, something they had never truly understood. Then, as the final pieces fell into place, the shadows surged. The air thickened, and an oppressive chill swallowed the room. My mother gasped as the specters I had uncovered seeped through the walls, taunting the very fabric of our reality. They were the lost souls, the ones my family had dismissed, now emerging from the corners, their faces twisted in anguish. "David, what have you done?" My father's voice quivered, a mixture of fear and regret. "I've opened the door to the truth," I replied, my heart racing as I stepped back. The spirits were restless, swirling around us, their presence palpable. I had spent years uncovering their stories, but now I felt the terror of their existence firsthand. The room erupted in chaos. My brother shouted for help, but the walls themselves seemed to scream with the weight of everything left unsaid, every mocking word, every moment of disbelief. My family had always thought I was losing my mind, and now I realized they were losing theirs. As the shadows coiled around my family, I stood firm, a sentinel among the chaos. I had faced these horrors alone, and they had forged me into something stronger. I had come to understand the delicate balance between belief and disbelief, and as my family writhed in panic, I found a chilling sense of vindication. The spirits began to recede, their whispers echoing through the house. "You mocked the truth," they seemed to say. "Now face what you denied." In that harrowing moment, I realized my family was witnessing the very fabric of their disbelief unravel before them. I had returned not just as a harbinger of despair, but as a testament to survival against all odds. The shadows of my obsession had come to life, and now they had become my family's reckoning. As the last of the darkness faded away, I turned to my family, their eyes wide with realization. They had ridiculed me for chasing ghosts, but I had emerged from the depths, armed with knowledge that could not be unlearned. "You must see," I said, my voice steady. "You must believe." The silence that followed was deafening. My family stood transformed, not merely witnesses to my journey, but now participants in the haunting truth they once dismissed. Their laughter had faded, leaving behind the chilling echoes of their disbelief. I stepped out into the night, the weight of vindication and sorrow heavy on my shoulders. I had faced the darkness and survived, but my family's journey had only just begun. They would carry the burden of their disbelief, shackled to the shadows that had once seemed so far removed from their everyday lives. As I walked away, I turned back, feeling the chill of the night air against my skin. I had uncovered the hidden horrors, the lost souls of the town, but the real haunting lay in the hearts of those who had chosen to mock. They would never forget, and that was the true price of their disbelief.